rights activist. Joining me now is Richard Socarides, an attorney and former advisor to President Clinton on gay issues, also gay civil rights activist and screenwriter Dustin Lance Black, who's recently won the Academy Award for his screenplay for Milk. Lance, are these benefits really a big step forward for gay people?
No, not, you mean this memorandum specifically? Not at all. I mean, the problem with this is that it is partial equality. Like, so many of the most important benefits for domestic partners aren't in this memorandum, like health care. And I gotta say, the big problem with sending a message like this, that partial equality is enough, is that I think it still says to, like, you know, the young people, the gay and lesbian young people out there in America that are listening to this and watching this, it still says you are still second class, you still don't deserve everything, you are still like second-class citizens, and the danger there is that, you know, in this day and age, still, gay and lesbian kids are 4 times more likely to attempt suicide than their straight brothers and sisters, 9 times more likely if they come from unaccepting homes and environments. And so it's like, we cannot send messages, our federal government cannot send messages to these kids out there struggling to come out that they are still less than, that they are still second class.
Richard, do you think the president has betrayed gay and lesbian Americans based on his campaign promises?
Well, I think he deserves some credit for what he did today. I mean, I think it was a positive, it was long overdue, and I think it's going to end up being way too little and way too late. And I think his basic problem is that he overpromised during the campaign, and now he's really underdelivered.
Why do you think he's underdelivering?
I think that they are too focused on not repeating the mistakes of the Clinton era. They sort of learned too well what those mistakes were.
They being who, Rahm Emanuel?
Well, I wouldn't single out Rahm. I mean, I worked at the White House and I know what the pressures are, and I worked with Rahm for almost 8 years. So, you know, he's a fair person and he is for basic equality just like the president is. But I think it was, you know, they have multifaceted excuses. They've got a lot going on. They've, you know, been saving the banking system, trying to end 2 wars. But they're playing this out in an old political era. And the debate on this has changed so dramatically. I mean, gay people in Iowa are being married, not in Massachusetts, but in Iowa. And the president has been talking about, you know, hospital visitation rights. It is reactive. It is very behind the curve. And they've badly miscalculated.
Well, let me ask you that. I mean, there are people who say, or Richard, you know, sort of referenced it, that look, there's wars going on, there's an economic crisis. This is you know, for a small percentage of the population, this is a big deal. But for the rest of the population, the people will say this isn't as big a deal as some of the other stuff the president has on his plate.
Well, to them, I would say, you know, I know that there is a lot that this country is facing right now. That is true. And gay and lesbian people want to help in that fight to repair all of that, to fix our country, to heal our country. And we do deserve full and equal rights. At this moment, we deserve it. There is never a convenient time to give full and equal civil rights in this country. That is not the tradition of this country. You know, we had peace and prosperity for 8 years under Clinton. And what do we get? We got Don't Ask, Don't Tell and DOMA. I do not think there is a connection between full and equal civil rights and the convenient time of peace and prosperity.
Do you think the president has betrayed gay and lesbian America?
You know, I think that, I don't want to guess that he has or has not. I think that he could do a lot of good for gay and lesbian people. He said that he would. I think we need to hold him to those promises. I think that we need to have our voices heard. We made that mistake in the Clinton administration as well. We did not make our dissatisfaction heard enough, and I'm urging gay and lesbian people from all 435 congressional districts to march with me on Washington on October 11th, and not just to have our voices heard, but also to organize and to figure out how we do the grassroots activism we need to do. How do we tell our personal stories so we can go back to our hometowns, we can go back to our congressional districts and change lives.
What the president really needs to do now is enunciate a very specific plan going forward. What action is he going to take? Remind people why they were for him. Remind him that he was remind people how he was a champion of equal rights. His time is pretty much...
Has he spoken about gay marriage at all with all the changes in all these states? Has he really talked about that much?
Not really till today. I mean, you know, up until today, the most he really said about gays and lesbians since he's been president is when the controversy around the inaugural and his choice of speakers at the inaugural. I mean, he's been really silent.
Of all the things that are relatively easy for him to do, the lifting of the HIV travel ban, not gay, but the HIV travel ban seems to be the easiest thing he could do, no?
You would think it would be easy. I'm told that they have budget military issues on that now. I mean, you know, the law is now that you have to score these things and they have to be budget neutral, and the budget offices come up with some numbers that seem out of whack, but I'm told that they are really trying to get the HIV travel ban done and done quickly. But on no one of these issues is going to fix this for him now. I mean, there have been, you know, people continue to be discharged from the military for no good reason. There's been no progress on repealing DOMA. I mean, he said today again that he was going to work to repeal DOMA, but he has said absolutely nothing or done absolutely nothing to try to get it done up until now.
Bottom line, you're disappointed.
Yeah, I am. I've been disappointed, you know, since his inauguration, and you know, I have great hope for this president. I think this president is a great communicator. He has the power to change. He has the power to lead. And I know he can't do everything himself, but he has the power to lead this Congress to full equality and save a lot of lives out there.
We got to leave it there. Dustin, Lance Black, good to have you on. Richard Socarides as well. Thank you very much.